Hello and welcome to the Pearson EdXL English Language 2.0 exam skills series. This exam series takes a skills-based approach, and in this video we're going to focus on the skill of synthesis. In this video we're going to explain what is meant by the skill of synthesis and explore what the examiner is looking for when answering a synthesis question. For the purpose of the exam videos, we're going to be using the Summer 2024 series exam papers. Let's start off by defining what is synthesis. In the context of your GCSE English Language, synthesis means bringing together information from two texts or extracts to show what they have in common and how they connect, focusing on ideas, details, and explaining what these reveal about a particular topic. We see this in Assessment Objective 1. For the purpose of this skill, we're only focusing on the synthesising. AO1 asks us to identify and interpret explicit and implicit information and ideas, and select and synthesise evidence from text. Synthesis only appears in paper 2, but it does build on the other skills seen in the exam. We see it in question 5. It's a core skill that you'll use both in your exam and across many other contexts outside of a GCSE. Let's take a look at this question, taken from paper 2, question 5. The question will always ask you to look at writing a summary given 3 separate ways. Pause the screen to read the question. On the screen, you'll see that we've highlighted key parts of the question, and these are going to guide your synthesis. Text 1 and 2 means that you must read and use both texts. You cannot answer the question properly by looking at just one. Make sure you pull information from each so that you can use accurate comparisons or connections. Writing a summary given 3 separate ways. The question is asking for 3 distinct points. Do not repeat the same idea in a slightly different way. Each one needs to be different, similarity or indifference. Think of it like 3 separate points in your plan. Ensure each one clearly addresses the question. This will help to keep your response focused, relevant and structured. Supporting with evidence. This is where you back up your points with a short quotation or use a very close reference from the text. Evidence proves your point and shows the examiner you've understood the text. Without it, your answer will not get you into the higher band of marks. Let's take a look at what the examiner is looking for. To write a higher level response in this question, you need to understand what the examiner wants, and it's more than just giving your opinion. Here's what it involves. Selecting 3 fully distinct similarities and differences based on the question. You must clearly identify the different ways how the texts are similar, avoiding repetition. The question asks you about experiences, therefore you must hone in on this. Providing synthesis of evidence. You must effectively combine information from text to show how your similarities connect or relate, demonstrating a clear understanding of both sources. And finally, using appropriate and relevant textual evidence. You must support each similarity with well-chosen, relevant quotations or references from both texts that back up your points. It's also important to note that you must draw on both texts to access the marks. You must give 3 separate ways in which the experiences are similar, supported by the evidence from both texts to access level 3 on the mark scheme. On screen, we can see a response that was written by a student in their actual exam. This was a full response. The student achieved a level 4 response overall for their answer. Pause the screen to read their response. Notice how the student is answering the question. First, they've identified 3 fully distinct similarities between the texts on how the experiences are similar. Each similarity was clearly different from the others, showing that they understood how the text connects in multiple unique ways. Next, we see the student demonstrates precise synthesis of evidence. Instead of just listing points from each text separately, they carefully combine information from both sources to explain how the similarities relate and build a bigger picture. Finally, their response included appropriate and relevant textual evidence. For every similarity, the students supported their points with well-chosen quotes or close references from both texts, making their argument convincing and clearly backed up by the text. The combination of distinct points, thoughtful synthesis and strong evidence is exactly what the examiner is looking for in order to award full marks. Here are a few top tips to bear in mind when you're tackling the synthesis question. Focus really on that 3 similarities. Start by carefully reading both texts and jotting down things they have in common in relation to the question. Make sure your 3 points are different from one another and avoid repeating same ideas in different words. Highlight key parts in both texts. When reading both the texts, use a highlighter or underline important words and phrases that show similarities. This will make it easy for you to find the evidence quickly when you are writing your answer and ensure that you don't miss out on any important points. Finally, practice linking your ideas together. When you're revising, practice writing sentences that combine information from two texts smoothly. Try to explain how the similarities fit together, not just what they are. This will help to make your answer clear and detailed. That's synthesis then, a skill where you bring information together from both texts to show a clear connection and shared ideas, focusing on how they relate to a whole topic. Keep practicing this skill by asking yourself, what is the question asking? What common points do these texts share? How do the details from each text combine to give me a fuller understanding? And why is it important to see these ideas together? Thank you for watching this Pearson EdXL English Language 2.0 video, and we'll see you next time.